Are we here? Are we here? We're here.
No, over here.
We're here.
Yeah. Over there.
Over here.
Over there.
Cool.
That's weird.
It's kind of pretty, kind of frightening. I don't know what it means.
It's 150. Okay. We're talking 3 seconds shutdown. Go to fuel cell shutdown. Okay. So if you look over here on fuel cell shutdown, okay, we gotta shut the fuel cell down because there's no cooling on it. Okay. The fuel cell's heating up right now. That's the problem. We're gonna take off all the loads from the fuel cell.
Okay, so take all these off.
That one right there. Good. That one. Okay. Now, fuel cell the main bus off on the other side, right there, right next to where you were. Right there. Yep. That one. A lever lock switch. Pull it out and down. Okay. Now you just took all the loads off the fuel cell. Notice how difficult that would be if you were sitting like this with the suit on. You weren't allowed to turn your head because you had a helmet on. And if you turned your head, you'd get sick under G loading. Okay?
Is this on? This is on ascent.
On ascent. Oh. My helmet comes down to right here.
Yeah.
Once I get to right here, if you put your hands like this, now try to look. That's about, and you tilt your head just a little bit. That's about all you can do. So you can kiss that goodbye. When this undervolts, we're gonna lose everything here. Go ahead and break your bus tie right there. Main A off. There you go. Turn that off. That's good. Oh, it's not going on. Try again. Try main B. There you go. That did it. Okay.
Outer space from all the human race, it's time to stow your sleeping gear. We know you've had a blast, you're up in space at last. Now your main objective's clear. Deploy the Space Telescope to carry on our dreams and hopes. Good morning, outer space, from all the human race. It's time to stow your sleeping gear. We know you've had a blast, you're up in space at last. Now your main objective's clear. Deploy the Space Telescope to carry on our dreams and hopes.
Whatever you did was good. I want you to do it. That was pretty hip. Now we're shortening the intro, right?
Oh yeah.
Some of those bass drums are coming out of there.
Yeah, right after Roger roll, we're gonna have boom boom.
You try to do one? Should we put one on tape? Okay.
Oh, we don't have any tape.
Tape? You only want tape? I mean, what do you want in this? You know? Jeez.
Telescope. As NBC science correspondent Robert Bazell reports tonight, it happened 7 years and a few moments behind schedule.
Had a hold.
At T-minus 31 seconds, a crucial valve was stuck open. The count held while controllers fixed it in a few minutes, and then the count resumed.
3, 2, 1, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery with the Hubble Space Telescope, our window on the universe.
Mission Control, Houston.
Telescopic cameras showed the solid fuel booster rockets fall away, and Discovery headed into orbit. NASA's director said that controllers took no risks by quickly fixing the valve problem.
If the system had turned up a failure, or if they had been confused.
Years, yeah, it's definitely worth it today.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Richard.
All
Congratulations.
right.
The shuttle is flying about 350 miles above the Earth, 150 miles higher than most shuttle flights. From that height, the astronauts see more of the Earth. Among their tasks today, the astronauts began checking out the robot arm, which will lift the Space Telescope into its own orbit tomorrow. They also photographed the Space Telescope, while controllers in Maryland turned on crucial systems. A critical moment tomorrow will come when controllers send the signal to open the solar panels, which supply power to the telescope. 2 astronauts will be standing by in spacesuits to go outside the shuttle and fix the panels if they don't work.
Once in orbit, the astronauts got right to work testing the robot arm that will lift the telescope out of the payload bay. Hubble will spend at least 15 years in orbit, beaming home images of distant galaxies and looking back in time at some of the oldest stars in the universe. Its most exciting discoveries will be the unexpected.
The Discovery astronauts are going to be awakened for day 2 of their historic mission at 2:36 in the morning, Houston time. And they're going to be awakened to a song recorded on Earth by a Houston band called Private Numbers. The group named tomorrow's wake-up song, Space is Our World. This is not the song, by the way. NASA asked the group not to release the song so that the astronauts will be the first to hear it at the beginning of the most important day of their mission, which is just hours before they deploy that Hubble Space Telescope. You will hear part of the song tomorrow in this program as Catherine Smith reports live from the Johnson Space Center. That's our news. Thank you for watching.
Good morning, outer space, from all the human race. It's time to stow your sleeping gear. We know you had a blast, you up in space at last. Now your main objective's clear. Deploy the Space Telescope to carry on our dreams and hopes. Space is our world. We're living our destiny. Space is our world. The spirit of discovery. Space is our world. 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 Space is our world.
Good morning, Discovery. Your wake-up music today is compliments of your training team. We want you to make them proud today. There are 17 pages of messages waiting for you in the tags, including a flight plan update with a new star pair C1 for your IMU align this morning. When you have the paper tray cleared, give us a call and we'll send another volley. We still have weather pictures and 2 more copies of the flight plan to go. We'll leave you alone for now and let you get ready for a big day.
Houston Discovery, KT, we copy all that, and we thank you and our training team for an outstanding wake-up music.
They're listening.
This is Mission Control Houston at 19 hours 11 minutes mission lapse time. The wake-up music for STS-31 on flight day 2 to get the crew up and ready for deploying the Hubble Space Telescope was a song entitled Space is Our World, which was written by a local band named Private Numbers and the training crew of STS-31. It was performed by the band Private Numbers and sung by them also.
Right now, though, Mike Schneider has the news. Mike?
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. Astronauts on board the shuttle Discovery are now up, and they are working. Mission Control woke them up with a song around 3:30 Eastern Time this morning.
Good morning, outer space, from all the human race. It's time to stow your sleeping gear. We know you had a blast, you up in space.
Now the astronauts are going through the long process of deploying the Hubble Space Telescope. It's a 5-hour process. First, they will use the giant arm to take the telescope out of Discovery's cargo bay. Then the solar panels and antennas will be opened, and the telescope will get a final going over. Finally, it is gently released out into space, far above the cloudy atmosphere of the Earth. 2 astronauts are prepared for a spacewalk if necessary, if the Hubble does require more personal attention before being placed into orbit. Now, there is a very strong sense of history here. Astronomers have compared this day to the day that Galileo invented the first telescope and took his first close-up look at the stars.
This is Joan London. Now it's Good Morning Houston with Don Nelson and Jan Glenn, and more of what's important to you in Texas.
Coming up today on Good Morning Houston, weatherman Ed Brandon returns to Channel 13, and we'll talk to him live. Actor Nick Nolte talks about his new movie. We'll learn how to roller skate with skating coach of the Starlight Express, and hear the wake-up song the astronauts of the shuttle Discovery heard. Next on Good Morning Houston.
Outer space, from all the human race, it's time to stow your sleeping gear. We know you had a blast, you up in space at last. Now your main objective's clear.
We have main engine start. 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. Discovery clears the tower. Right roll.
Good morning, outer space, from all the human race. It's time to stow your sleeping gear. We know you had a blast, you up in space at last. Now your main objective's clear. Deploy the Space Telescope to carry on the dreams at home. Space is our world. We're living our destiny. Space is our world.
Well, there you have it, catchy little tune. Of course, that has become very popular when the news covers the space shuttle launches, as well as their mission to get the wake-up call, and it's always been a variety of songs. And this one, L.A., New York, local, that's right. Private Numbers, the name of the group, performing that number for our astronauts, and they're joining us today. To my immediate right, we have Bruce Moody, Danny Christensen, and Rick Plunk, and Rick Richards, the drummer, who was going to bring the donuts.
Slept in.
Slept in. What do you think? Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you, Don.
You've played a lot of clubs here in town, and, you know, we were kidding. You know, you get a publicist, right? Getting music exposed. Okay, I can get you a bandstand, MTV, and how about the shuttle, you know? I mean, how did you pull that off?
We have a friend at NASA, which is nice, by the name of Bill Todd, and he's one of the flight trainers at the Johnson Space Center here in Houston, and he knew about the group's pro-space views and suggested that we all kind of get together and submit a wake-up song for his crew of the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Set the scene when you're writing a song. Do it collectively? One guy does it, or how do you do it?
It's different every time.
This one in particular?
This one, oddly enough, we were in the studio recording a batch of different songs, and Danny came in with an idea and started playing it on the piano, and we got the idea going and wrote it kind of collaboratively in the studio, and then we...
Now, you talk about exposure. That's global. I mean,
universal.
People, universal. I mean, that sound will be going out into space, maybe picked up by someone else who has a hit from another planet.
That's right.
But anyway, that's great exposure. So, will that lead to something, you think?
We're hoping it could parlay into something, but I mean, the main reason that we did the song, we want to emphasize, is that this is something that we really believe in, you know, as NASA and the space program as an entity.
Sometimes people catch the melody and not the words, so give us a couple of verses of the song that emphasize what you're saying.
Well, it starts with good morning, outer space, from all the human race. It's time to stow your sleeping gear. We know you've had a blast. You're up in space at last. And now your main objective's clear. Deploy the space telescope to carry all our dreams and hopes. Space is our world. Space is our destiny. Space is our world, the spirit of discovery.
Modern-day troubadours. Well, Rick, good morning.
Well done. Good morning.
I wanted to get you in here.
Oh, I'm here.
We're discussing showcasing local groups. A problem? I mean, you hear about, you know, Prince obviously made Minneapolis pretty famous in other areas, and now I understand there's an article about the music scene in Dallas. What can be done to make, because there's a lot of good musicians in this town, as far as getting some exposure and things like that. What would you like to see happen?
Oh, God.
We need better clubs, or we need programs or something to get the entertainment.
Well, the clubs are fine, and the audiences are great.
And there's entertainment, too.
Yeah, there is just a lot of really great bands in town. Oh, I know those guys. And
it's before we got our haircut.
I would say not have
yesterday. Summer look. I'm sorry.
This is a summer look. Go ahead. We're sorry, Dan.
Well, it's just I'd say more coverage with the press or what have you. You know, to help promote some bands.
How long have you been in town?
Well, the group has been together for about 6 years.
Do you have to eventually make a decision to go, like some have? You know, find our destiny, so to speak.
You mean individually, or?
Well, I mean collectively, individually. I mean, if the whole object is to become famous, I would assume, and to play your music. So, well, if we can't give you the platform to do that, you have to make the decision to go.
You mean to go to L.A. or something like that?
Yeah, you know, the usual thing.
Right now, our strong point, I think, is perseverance. Because, I mean, just hanging in there has gotten us this far. I remember a couple of years ago, we were talking about just packing it in, because just fighting the daily drudgery of dealing with the bookings and trying to get your songs recorded and reach people at record companies.
Packing the drums up and taking the drums out.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I got to get up at 6, yeah.
Anyway, we've got to go. Congratulations, by the way. The song is called...
Space is Our World.
Space is Our World. Private Numbers will be playing where?
We're at the Pig and Whistle 1 this weekend, corner of Richmond and Greenbrier.
All right. Hope to see everyone there. Thanks.
Thanks.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hi, Laura.
The Discovery crew started the day off with a special wake-up call. They rolled out of their space beds to the strains of a song written by a group of Houston musicians, especially for this historic mission. Sandy Rivera has the story.
Private Numbers, a Houston band whose music expresses contemporary views. They call it urban message pop rock. But their common bond is not just music. It's their love of outer space exploration. This time, their message reached out long distance and touched the Discovery crew.
We know you had a blast, you up in space at last.
We copy all that, and we thank you and our training team for an outstanding wake-up music.
I couldn't believe it. It was a great feeling.
We all believe very much in the space program and what it's all about, and the message is that everybody, you know, can get involved at their own level.
This is a special thrill for Bruce Moody, who wrote the lyrics. He's always wanted to be an astronaut.
And this is universal in every sense of the word, so elation is the closest word I can come to describe it, but it still doesn't do the feeling justice.
These band members didn't want to miss a single note. In fact, they installed a satellite dish to pick up NASA playing their song.
For the Space Telescope to carry on our dreams and hopes. Space is our world.
Sandy Rivera, 11 News.
Giving the term spaced out all new meaning.
Good point, good line. Well, the stage is set for a showdown.
This is a copy of the mailer that the group sent out
just prior to the Discovery flight, and I also sent a couple of copies down to NASA, and the crew signed one and sent this back. I'll show you what it says. To Bruce, thanks for this special gesture that helped brighten our day before HST deploy. And it's signed by Lauren Shriver, who's the commander, Charlie Bolden, who's the pilot, Bruce McCandless, Kathy Sullivan, and Steve Hawley, the guy that deployed the Hubble. And you can read the words.